The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour at TFNN.com, your headquarters for technical trading and investing. On this day in 2001, a U.S.-led coalition began attacks on the Taliban-controlled Afghans with an intense bombing campaign in Tora Bora, followed by American and British forces. Logistical support, was provided by other nations, including France, Germany, Australia, Canada, and others. Troops were provided by the anti-Taliban Northern Alliance rebels. And for about 200 CIA agents that were dropped in there, we actually got a lot of bang for the buck very early on and cleaned out a rat hole. Of course, much bigger problem over there, but was able to actually get something done quite quickly and fairly inexpensively. But this day we started and got a lot of the easy, low-hanging fruit. Of course, 12 years later, still going after it because, of course, there are, living 500 years behind us, except they've got guns. Pretty much living 500 years behind us over there. It's going to take a while to bring these guys into the 21st century and talk to them about the Earth not being flat. But, I digress out here. We've got a big day going. And just to check in with the indexes, looks like we're off about 7 points on the S&P cash, 1.55 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. That is a very low volume. Of course, they tried to push it down. We got to a low of 1674.70, and this thing's probably doing its best to chop as many traders out of the market as possible. Anything above 1686 on the indexes tends to be a positive close. But every time we get out here, something happens and they try to push it back down again. There's no volume and everybody comes in. I've got one short and one long position right now. And other than intraday trading, I can't imagine picking a side long or short. Probably better to sit back and wait for the argument to be over and catch the next trend than to get seriously chopped to pieces here. Of course, we've got a few things happening this week, and we'll talk about those right now. But probably the most and largest one that comes into mind is options expiration. That cycle starts on Wednesday. Sometimes even Tuesday, we'll have to see. I would suspect, though, we're probably going to see option market makers want to get out of as much stuff as possible prior to the 17th. Of course, not only is the 17th 17th a big day for the government, the 18th is the day of options expiration, and I imagine we're going to see a lot of movement and volatility. And of course, we'll get to what was the VIX up to today? VIX up to 18.5, and of course, for a market that's not moving very far, we got the VIX moving very nicely, and we'll see how this closes out here today. But VIX in the 18 now, options starting to get fairly expensive. But I think there's some low-hanging fruit out in the marketplace, and I've gone after it. Is it equal? Capitalism is the unequal distribution of wealth. Socialism is the equal distribution of misery. So says Winston Churchill. And I kind of think of that when I think about Argentina. They've gone and drank all the Kool-Aid when it comes to believing that socialism is the end-all, be-all. Argentina filed for a writ of certiorari to the U.S. Supreme Court, asking the court to overturn a ruling by the second U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals made last October. That ruling would force Argentina to pay a few hedge funds $1.3 billion since they refused to take a 70% haircut on the investment they made in the country during its last economic collapse. And what else can you say? It's hard to get blood out of a turnip. And, of course, taking a page out of a famous politician here in the United States, the gal that runs the place says that she hit her head and has a problem and had to go and run and hide for a while. But they actually impounded one of the boats, which is kind of the equivalent of our USS Constitution, a boat where they actually teach sailors how to actually truly sail, real tall-masted ship. They found it important, actually got a hold of it legally, and our State Department, of course, would rather shake hands and be all nice with a bunch of thieving socialists, so they gave them the boat back, but I think eventually Argentina is going to have to cough up this money. They certainly don't want to, but we see Argentina continually sliding farther and farther in the same path of Greece and others that believe that socialism is the way to prosperity. Outer wall climb today. It was, see if I have a quote right here. I thought I did. Maybe not. OUTR. What do I got? Yeah, it's up $1.84. It was up to 65. What was that? 64.30 was its high today. Outer wall, if you don't remember this, is one that just absolutely got punished on an announcement of their earnings. It climbed as high as 12% this morning after another stock activist from Jana Partners disclosed a 14% stake in the Red Box owner. They are those little kiosks that count your coins and, of course, also give you DVDs. And not a bad business. Unfortunately, they've been hurt horribly by streaming video, but also by just the horrible product that Hollywood has been churning out. Most of the people that rent DVDs are after it for decent movies, and Hollywood is making a bunch of these movies for kids who go and actually go to the theater. So we've got 15 mad slasher films for every one really good movie, and I think it's really hurting Outer Wall. Anyway, they think that they can fire a bunch of people and get the stock back up and make a small killing as a rose, but I have a feeling that today's action and the fact that they are up less than 3% now after being up 12% this morning says boatloads about their long-term outlook, unless Hollywood starts making DVDs that people really truly want to watch at home instead of just more mad slasher movies and more Iron Man 15, because there were so many unanswered problems in the first 15 versions of Iron Man, and Rocky 87 and all the other stuff. Just not a lot of people willing to take any kind of chance on any other movie, and for the most part, people just don't care. Their sales are low. Basically, I suspect not so much just because it's DVD, but because the product that Hollywood is kicking out, for the most part, is rather poor. So we'll have to think about that for a while. Okay, what else do we have going on in the markets today? We've got Apple shills out in force. I suspect I feel the long tentacles of Carl Icahn all over this. There was a Jefferies analyst that came back from Asia, and suddenly everybody's throwing themselves from tall buildings because supposedly Samsung's not selling enough of their phones, and all the manufacturers are freaking out, and it just sounded way over the top for this guy, especially since he'd been pretty much right on saying to stay away from it. But I don't think it's the analyst community has strayed very far from the rapid excesses they had in 2000. That got several of them, including some of them that are actually in the news business now, thrown out. And, of course, one thing you can really tell about Wall Street is it doesn't truly change. This just seemed a lot over the top, just or wishful thinking. Of course, they moved his price target from 425 to 600, and Apple moved a whole $8. This may not be Icon's finest moment. What else do we have? Oh, we got a whole bunch of IPOs coming out again this week. Some of these looked a little bit better than the weaklings we had last week. Of course, Potbelly did very well. A lot of people are kind of excited about that. Antero Resources is an E&P operating in Marcellus Shale and plans to raise $1.2 billion. Of course, this isn't like a new company and everything else. You're buying a percentage of what they have going on already. But $1.2 billion by offering 30 million shares at a price range between 38 and 42. Pretty much at the midpoint of where they were thinking. LDR Holding, another one that is a holding company and, of course, not a straight play, plans to raise $75 million by offering 5 million shares at a price range of $14 to $16. Macrogenetics is a clinical stage biotech developing monoclonal antibody-based therapeutics for the treatment of cancer and autoimmune diseases. Plans to raise $60 million by offering 4 million shares at a price range of $14 to $16. QTS Realty Trust, again, this is another trust. It's not a single straight play, is a data center REIT with one of the largest portfolios by gross square footage. Plans to raise $349 million by offering 12.3 million shares at a price range between $27 and $30. SFX Entertainment, SFXE is going to be the symbol, is the largest producer of electronic music focused live events and content. Plans to raise $200 million by offering 16.7 million shares at a price range of 11 to 13. Probably stay away from that one. Stonegate Mortgage is a non-bank mortgage company, which you don't see many of, focused on residential mortgage loans. Plans to raise $181 million by offering 8.6 million shares at a price range of 20 to $22. SGM will be the symbol. Western Refining Logistics is of course, another one of these deals. It isn't a straight play. It's an NLP, and it's formed by Western Refining to own midstream assets. Plans to raise $250 million by offering 12.5 million shares at a price range of 19 to 21. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a 3-fold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
As we come back off 7 points on the S&P cash, not a big deal. Volume still very low, 1.6 billion shares, and we are on hold for the government. Not much else to say for that. And we're going to look at a few other stocks out here. Actually, I had a few to look at. MU, this thing just doesn't seem to want to stop. And as we look at it here, still no sell signal on this thing. A lot of people coming out today and saying $30, $40, $100, $1,000. Of course, the street is always pretty good about picking a top when they come to it. Now, this thing, of course, not that long ago was $5. No one wanted to be in it because, of course, it is a commodity business. And they got lucky. What happened? One of their competitors burned, and it's going to be coming back online. And, of course, everybody and their dogs going to be in this business now that it's making money. It is a commodity business, so the best cure for a high price is a high price. The best cure for a low price is a low price, and there were all these manufacturers were beating each over the head 4 or 5 months ago. Now they all can't wait to raise the price. Eventually it will crack and probably come back down to the cost of production plus 5 or 7% margins. much like the hard drive business, when the floods and tsunamis came in and killed off one of the manufacturing areas, eventually it's going to catch back up to them, and it will become a margin minus kind of business once again. But on a day like this, they can get a little doji out here. I'm watching this very closely because I have a feeling as quick as this has gone from 14 to 18, it'll probably take 3 or 4 days once we find out that prices are starting to come down on DRAM for this thing to be back at 14 again. So we will be watching it. That's right. You know why MU still going up? Because I'm not in it. And but it is become, there's a lot of, like a lot of these stocks, has become a football for day traders and the street. And they're probably all willing to get this thing up and then move it sideways for a while and start distributing the stock before we start seeing the supply come back in big time. There's not a lot of mystery to making DRAM chips. Everybody has to make them fairly close to the same, so they are interchangeable, and that's why there isn't a lot of mystery in them, just a shortage right now. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, MU. Yeah, let's see if there's anything else. Well, this is probably the most interesting one out here today. That is SAP. Somebody said that they were thinking about buying BlackBerry. And, of course, off and off hard, and even a little better volume than the last 3 days out here. This, of course, had a high volume low at $69.71. And that thing's going to get tested probably fairly quick. That's the September 5th low. I mean, this thing came down just under $70 back on July 5th. And, of course, it doubled the volume at that last low. And, of course, you can probably say that that gives you about an 80-90% chance of this thing getting tested in 6 months, and we're going to see that. But no real denials from SAP. So I don't know if they're just sanguine to the fact that their stock's going to be going down a little bit. But very interesting. DEC. DECK. This one's getting spanked a little bit out here. Decker's Outdoor. Of course, they make the tennis shoes. This thing's down, and volume's good, but not huge. But one of the things that happened out here is that, you know, as you broke through the previous highs out here, you had a little volume, but just not really any follow-through. And, of course, we actually got some, about 2 million shares already today. But overall, this is where you can really start seeing how money comes in with my Power Law Vector Indicator numbers. And that is the January 10th, 2013 low to the April 24th high. And then you compare that to the June 24th low to the October 3rd high. You can see that there was just half the energy in those particular legs. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. We got a caller. We're going to go to Brent in Martinez, California. How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing good. How you doing, David?
Another day in paradise. So what do you want to talk about today?
I was going to have you, if you could bring up a daily chart of Lululemon.
We got it up and running.
It came up in the Gartley scan, and I just, it looked like it might be a decent short. It has
it certainly
kind of a
is.
high volume spike down at about 64. It hasn't been tested.
Yep. And, of course, you would have liked, if you were bullish, you would have thought that would have had a low volume back into the 8 point, which is at 59.60, that had 6 million shares. You'd like probably to come into that range probably with something like 3 million shares. And, you've got, it's that 22 million share is probably just a little light from the huge couple of volume days down this thing had on, June 11th and June 12th. So a little more complicated than it would show right off the bat, but certainly a perfect Gartley at the moment. Came within just a few pennies of its D target at 77.60, 15 cents over it. And that's been pretty it. Of course, it's been banging against that huge gap down. So what's your question?
Oh, I just was considering it as a short and just wanted to get your opinion if it met the criteria you'd be looking for.
Makes all the criteria except one. And there's that is that we've got kind of a bald-headed guy on CNBC that's flogging this thing today, or I'd be short it right now.
Oh, okay.
You know who of which I speak, who cannot be named?
I can't say I do.
Kramer.
Oh, okay.
He was out slapping this one earlier this morning, and I think you've got the right stock. It's the timing on it that is probably the most important to me. It is set up correctly. You've got something that's probably some kind of a business that is some kind of pet rock, which is these super stretchy. I hate to think that it's a cult. I'd like to live the rest of my life with super stretchy pants for women. But unfortunately, I have a feeling that we're probably in the later days of the yoga boom. And probably not a bad time to be short this thing, especially with the CEO leaving and a lot of unknowns out here. But it's got a little bit of a short interest already, and I suspect that Kramer's going to probably flog it for the next couple of days. What I'd like to see is how this thing reacts on Wednesday when the option market makers go delta neutral. If I get a good signal on that date that it looks like they're willing to let this thing go down over the next 10 days, then I'll be all over it. But I don't think we really get a good call on that until probably close on Wednesday.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I have. I'd be short the thing right now if he wasn't out there, because all I know is he's going to go on there and get his minions to go run the thing a few bucks more, and he certainly has the power to do that. But everything in the chart is a perfect Gartley out here. But it probably just a little high on the short interest is one problem, and secondarily we've got Kramer out there flogging it. But not always a bad thing. We might get another chance to get 77.75 out of this thing before we short it. So not all bad. I don't, and it probably actually fairly good for us, because if he does get a lot of people to run into this thing, get it a little higher, and we find just no volume, maybe 2 million shares back up there at the 77.75, I think we're going to have a good shot at pulling the trigger. Of course, this market, the wheels could fall off tomorrow if we get a food fight up there in Congress. But at the moment, I would have loved to seen this thing really start getting volume going down. In the last 2 days, it's just been very light volume. So I'd want to.
I did notice that too.
Yeah, that tells you a few things a lot of times. One is that the market maker is going to try to hold this thing up through expiration. If you went through, you listened to the first part of the show?
Yes.
The other thing I dislike is a market where they're pushing a lot of IPOs out. It is in their benefit to make sure that the market as a whole is flat and happy to get these what is going to be at least a few stinkers out this week. And they don't. What do we get? Probably maybe 50% that actually priced in the mid part of the range last week. I'd like to see what this is, but it looks like kind of the flotsam and jetsam is finally making it to the IPO market, which makes me think that they're thinking it's very close to the end. But at the same time, they can hold the market up through Thursday or Thursday afternoon, and by then 3 or 4 days goes along. They may have some other yo-yo come out of the woods saying, I'm an activist investor and I'm going to make Lululemon worth $150, and we get stopped out. So I would just rather hold my fire to the whites of their eyes. I think that's Wednesday afternoon.
All right. Thank you, David.
You bet. A beautiful, beautiful chart setup, and I've had a lot of these, especially these. You just come down with a heavy volume, you come back up, you make a perfectly good Gartley pattern. This is about as good as it gets. You may have wanted to see the retrace just a little less on the B to C point, but I mean, I'm nitpicking on this thing. It is beautiful. And yes, the Art of the Chart scan picked this thing up on Friday, so it is finding some good ones out there. Anyway, what else do we have going on in the marketplace? I wanted to get to a few of these other stocks while we had time and see what we have. A couple of them out here that caught my eye. SIP, INCY. This thing's, when we're looking at a few of these things that may be starting to roll over, this thing had a beautiful sign of strength on the 21st of August. This thing popped up with over 18 million shares. Really hasn't come back and tested this gap. You really want this thing to come back probably to about $30 and see 18 million shares. You get into that thing with 8 or 4 million shares, probably would be a fairly interesting stock purchase if you wanted to go long. I don't see anything out here that says go short yet. Insight is a biopharmaceutical company focuses on the discovery, development, and commercialization of small molecule drugs for oncology and inflammation. So not a bad deal, but certainly you would want this thing to probably get back as close to $30 as possible with super light volume, and at that point you could start pulling the trigger. But way up here, not a good play, and certainly not a good short. There's nothing up here that says this thing's ready to roll over. And what are we at here for overlays? This thing's just peaking under its 9-day moving average as we speak. So probably getting ready to start trip back down, but on shorts there's a lot of better low-hanging fruit out here than this one. So let's see what else we have on my list today. Didn't talk about the foreign markets out here again, and today is the last day of China being closed too. So know that all those Chinese markets are going to start playing catch up tomorrow. What is it? National Day, I think. It was all last week and into today, but they will be coming back tonight to start trading. And I don't think a lot of people have thought too much about how the Chinese markets will react to what we're doing here. They've got a lot of our worthless paper out there. It could be worthless paper, let me put it that way. And be very interesting to see what they do since they were off pretty much the whole week while we were playing over here in politics. For our Euro brothers out here, a slightly down day in the FTSE's off 0.3. Germany was off 0.4. France was flat. I don't even know if they were open. Spain was off 0.4. Portugal off 0.5%. Italy was the only thing open up there, or opening higher, up 0.7. And the Irish are off 0.2. And Greece, the stinkers are up 2.5%. So not a lot. Looking at the 52-week high and low market out here, GPN is another one we wanted to take a quick look at. GPN. Some of these are starting to come back. This is what you don't want to see. You want to see what we looked at before in INCY. This one looks more like a shooting star coming right back, but you had a huge sign of strength, 8 million shares on the 2nd of October here. Global Payments, of course, is, well, let me just read the professional profile. So Winging provides electronic payment transactions to consumers, merchants, and financial institutions and multinational corporations in the United States, Canada, Brazil, United Kingdom, Spain, Republic of Malta, Czech Republic, French Federation, and Asia Pacific Rim. So, but nice shot, no follow through. Normally you want to see follow through for the next 3 days, and then the thing come back down with a light volume into the gap. This had no follow through and actually rolled over after the first day, and not something you like. This will be very interesting if this thing doesn't rocket right back down to the $50 level here in the next few days. But will be interesting. Let's go back and look at the market here just real quick. Let me update it just to make sure. Like I said, I'm actually long one stock and short one stock. I think you could go, it's probably a stock market, pickers market out here, off 8 points on the S&P cash, 1.7 billion shares. So the volume is very light out here. But you can, on individual stocks, you can probably go each way. One of the things we were looking at on Friday's show with Tom O'Brien, EUO, was EUO, which is a nice ETF, and certainly is probably basing out here. But again, just like when I talked about Lululemon, what do you do about something where the timing just isn't right? The market's going to need to probably be behind you. And same thing with EUO. I'm much interested to see what happens in the dollar euro market tomorrow when China's back, then pulling the string on Friday. I think you could probably get back in that 1750 area again, and if volume continues to be light out here, we're probably making some kind of long-term bottom in the dollar against euro short. And be interesting out here. I just don't see in a great deal of these things resolution until we get the headline announcement out of Washington, and of course that's going to be rather difficult. See what else do we have out here. Wanted to take a quick look. We have some nice movement in gold. It was up $12 right now, 13 at 21.80, and of course silver's up 50 cents at 22.30. Platinum's up $9.75 at 13.99, and probably the most important part was crude. Well, we had a lot of discussions going into Thursdays and Friday last week about the impending hurricane. Heard lots of people saying the Gulf is super warm, everybody's got to worry. But I thought that sounded like a lot of saber rattling and not a lot of truth into it. And of course, the truth is in the price. Crude off 87 cents today, 102.97. I'd still like this thing to go back up one more time and shake out the early shorts in this, but I have a feeling that Andy Heck and the rest of the folks out here, all the charts show that energy could be the weakest sector that we have. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet on this, and we'll take a look. Dollar index, it's off 18 cents, not a big deal. But certainly with that bottom on Friday in the EUO, you probably would have loved to seen some movement. Anyway, we've got plenty of time left here yet today. So pick up the phone, give me a call, 877-927-6648. Of course, we talked about a few charts in the timing the trade charts. On the 16th, you will be able to have a webinar if you are a subscriber to the Art of Timing the Trade Charts. Tom and I will be doing that webinar the 16th of this month at 6:30 at night. Go to the front page of TFNN. If you don't or haven't had a free trial of the Art of Timing the Trade Charts, you can do it for $1 for 30 days. So go check that out. We'll be back. Call me, 877-927-6648.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Have you subscribed to the Gold Report yet? On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.69% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began. And right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber as this volatile gold market makes its way back into positive territory after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial today by visiting TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come back looking at Boeing, a lot of people are trying to give this thing a hard time out here, and kind of interesting that basically Japan Airlines, longtime big Boeing customer, gave a $9.5 billion order to Airbus, and everybody's saying, well, Boeing really missed out. There is a problem. It's not like stamping out a car and you decide just to build 10 more or 1 million more units this year at GM. These have very, very long lead times. They also gave a lot of pre-release information to their customers on ordering these and said order early. We've got the plane, and we've got a plane that saves 20% of fuel per mile flown. And these guys kind of farted around for a while, didn't put an order together, and now they're having to buy a plane that gets 20% worse fuel mileage. Now, when you think about it, the average airline costs, 40% of all their costs is fuel alone. So I'm not thinking that Boeing has really lost out on anything. I suspect if they get any planes whatsoever, that Japan will be glad to buy a few of them. But there's a problem when you've got 5 years worth of orders. You just can't say, well, I'll run another 20 787s through the production facilities. Things all have long lead times. They all have, each one of them is specially designed for each customer. Interiors are ordered, everything else. As much as it is each plane the same, there's a lot that has to be ordered. You also have to give General Electric a big pat on the back because, of course, probably 8% of the better fuel mileage has to do with their engines. Of course, Boeing has done a pretty good job of locking up that engine demand. It's a little easier to build a few more engines than it is an entire plane. But I don't know. There's a lot of people giving Boeing a lot of grief. If everything went to hell in a handbasket, you'd still have a ton of people in line wanting to buy the next 787 because planes, even if the things are going south, are probably going to still be flying, and you'd rather be flying a plane that got 20% better fuel mileage. Anyway, when you look at the charts out here, this thing just looks like it's coming back to the last gap at about 112. No big whoop out here. I don't see anything that says that I wouldn't want to be in this thing, but it's already had a long and desired run from when everybody started screaming about the batteries in this thing. So not much. I guess we've got about a minute here left. I've got to talk about probably since the Bataan Death March, there probably hasn't been an affront to humanity as bad as what happened this weekend. What is it? It is it's got like the second or third week in a row that The Mentalist, I've recorded the first half of it because that miserable, horrible show, The Good Wife, comes on before it. I call it The Bad Wife. What a horrible, horrible show. Now, can anybody get to CBS and tell them why they have to delay for some stupid football game 30 minutes late? They know every single week that it's going to be late. Just start it a half hour later. Let my wonderful TiVo record The Mentalist in the full 1 hour shake. Why do they have to? They know these stupid football games are going to last overtime. Just blab for half an hour. Do some signs, shadow signs on the wall or something. Anyway, I am offended. See you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Mentalist on time.
Are you ready to ride the next bull market wave? Catch the Chapman Wave. Using the Chapman Wave methodology, Basil's very comprehensive daily newsletter, The Opening Call, gives the short, intermediate, long-term analysis for the key indexes. In his Trader's Corner, he gives a brief market summary and expectation for the day with possible trades, both long and short, which are reviewed daily. A position subscribers sold recently for a 42% on part, plus a 64% on rest at Hertz Global as a core position for 6 months before exiting the position. A current position entered as a turnaround company with good technicals based on Basil's waveform is trading up to 170% of its entry point as a portion sold earlier for a 21% gain. Subscribers to The Opening Call can see the Chapman Wave techniques demonstrated and explained daily to educate investors. To get your 2-week free trial to The Opening Call, just visit the front page of TFNN.com. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on TFNN.